نوفري إهو نمن رادي دارو. It means have a good day, my dear all. Welcome to this new lesson in the Aspi in Raminkami, the Coptic Egyptian language. Today we're gonna have an idea about verb to have and the present continuous. Let's start. So verb to have here, the verb to have is formed by the stem one, which means there is, and the conjugated object pronoun one and you conjugate it. If I want to describe it in a literal way to know more or less the literal translation, one, it means there is, and this and I refers to me. It means there's something that belongs to me, which means I have. I own this or whatever. Okay, belongs to, maybe it's a better translation. Okay, so that's it. One and I have. Okay, one and dark you have masculine. One and you have feminine. One and he has. One and she has. One and we have. One and you have plural. One and they have. Okay, as simple as that. You just say one, which means this. Okay, and the conjugation here at the end, and they refers to me, and dark refers to you masculine, and that refers to you feminine, and daf refers to he, and das refers to she, and dan refers to we, and doden refers to you plural, and thou or endo, both are correct, refers to they. Okay, so let's say them a bit faster this time. One and they I have. One and dark you masculine have. One and you feminine have. One and he has. One and she has. One and we have. One and you plural have. One and they have. And this is the formal way, by the way. There is a simpler, a little bit simplified way, which is more or less used in the spoken language, the colloquial language. We will see this in the next page. So here we are. Here, instead of saying one n day, we remove the second n. So we say one day instead of one n day. The second n is removed. So one day, you see, it's much easier. Huh? One day I have. Simpler, easier. Okay, so I prefer this one, of course. One day in the spoken language. One day I have. And by the way, both are present and both are correct in the old manuscripts and everything. It is sometimes used this or that. It depends. Okay, two ways. Like, like English, I know it's different, but like I do not or I don't. Okay, both are okay. Anyhow, so one day I have. One dark you masculine have. Instead of one in dark, you see the difference. One da you feminine have instead of one in da. And the same thing here. One daf he has instead of one in daf. Okay, you understood the idea. I will continue. So without making this comparison. One das she has. One dan we have. One doden you have. One dao they have. And I will say it one more time. So you got it? One is there is, and as I said before, they, dark, that refers to me, you, masculine, you, feminine, and so on. So it's very easy. Coptic is almost like that. So again, one day, faster this time. I have. One dark, you, masculine, have. One da, you, feminine, have. One daf, he has. One does, she has. Wondan, we have. Wondodan, you, plural, have. Wondau or wondo, both are correct. They have. Good. So let's go next and see. So, yes, here we said I have, but if what about if you want to say I do not in a negative way? How do you say? So you say emmon. Emmon is always about no or not. So instead of saying one day, you say emmon day. Actually, also there are two ways. The formal, the very formal one, a bit longer. It's here. Look at the pointer. So emmon en day. It means I don't have, but in speaking it is contracted or shortened. Okay, so you see the difference between emmonendai and emmondai, a bit faster. But I didn't want to write the whole thing here. It should have been emmonendai, emmonendak, emmonenda, emmonendaf. That's the formal, the longer way, but the shorter way is like that here. So emmondai, I don't have. Emondak, you, masculine of course, don't have. Emonda, you, feminine, don't have. Emondaf, he doesn't have. Emondas, she doesn't have. Emondan, we do not have, don't have. You see, I said do not and don't. The same thing in every language. Instead of saying emonendan, I can say emondan. We don't. Okay. Emondoden. You, plural, don't have. Emondau or do. They don't have. Great. So I will say it one more time a bit faster. This one, too, as I always do, to be more familiar with a fast way of talking, which is the natural way, because if you know a language, you will not say Emondai. Okay, you will say it faster like that. Emondai, I don't have. Emondak, you, masculine, don't have. Emonda, you, feminine, don't have. Emondaf, he doesn't have. Emondas, she doesn't have. Emondan, we don't have. Emondodan, you, plural, don't have. Emondo, they don't have. You see, so it's very clear. Just a revision if you, to know the comparison or the difference between I have, I don't have. So if you want to say I have one day, I don't have one day. You see, you just remove this emmon and put instead of it one. Okay, in all these conjugations, it's so easy. Emmon day, I don't have. One day I have. The same thing here. I will not say all of them, just take some examples. Emmon duck, you don't have. Masculine, you have one duck instead of emmon one. Last example, emmon da, you, feminine, don't have. But if I want to say you have one da, instead of emmon, I say one. So easy, huh? Just a matter of practice and revision. You'll find it very, very easy. As I said before, Coptic is one of the easiest languages in the world to be taught, to be learned. Okay, great. So let's go next. Here, so we said we know now how to say I have, I don't have, but what about the negative way? The past, sorry. I did not, I didn't have. How to say this? So it's emonday as it is. It means don't have. But we put at the beginning ne. Ne always refers to the past tense. Okay? So ne emonday, I didn't have. You see, as easy as this. Emonday alone, I don't have. Na emonday, I did not. Past. Okay? Have. The same thing, let's continue. Na emondak, you, masculine, didn't have. Na emonda, you, feminine, did not have. Na emondaf, he did not have. Ne emondas, she did not have, didn't. Ne emondan, we didn't have. Ne emondoden, you didn't, plural of course, have. Ne emondou, they did not have. The only difference between I have, you have, and all these things you want to say, I I want to say I don't have, you don't have, okay, she doesn't have, and all this stuff. If you want to say it in the past, did not, just to put ne. As I said, let's say okay, ne emondo, they didn't have. But what about they don't have, not did not, don't. Okay, you remove this ne. Emondo, they don't have. Past, didn't, did not, ne emondo. You see, it's very clear. I don't think it needs to be repeated again. So let's go next. Okay, let's see some examples, some practical examples on how to use all these things. So here we are. Yeah. So if you want to say, I have a cat here. Okay, I have one day. One day. And conjugated, of course, but I have, you have, she has, he has, and all this stuff. Okay, as you said before. So one day, en ou shall, I have a cat, and as I said also before, this this n is always here to join the words. Okay, together. One day, it means I have. I have what? Okay, a cat. Okay, so you cannot in Coptic, as I said before, to say one day usha. U alone, if you remember, it means a. Okay, like English exactly. So a cat. You cannot say I have a cat. No, one day en ushao. As I said it before, if I want to make this a bit funny comparison in English, you have to say I have n a cat. Okay, this n is always here. Fine. So one day en ushao. What about I don't, do not, do, not past, huh? Present. I don't have a cat. En Monday en ushao. En Monday en ushao. And of course you conjugate it with everything that we knew before. But I just took the example about me, myself. So I did not have a cat. Just to put ne in front, ne, okay, and continue the sentence. Ne emondai en u shao. I did not, or I didn't have a cat. Okay, clear by now? Hopefully, yes. Good. So let's see what's next. I think you don't need a revision. It's clear. Hopefully, maybe I was a bit fast this lesson, but just all those who were following with me in the previous lessons, I think we have enough idea about many things. Okay, so let's continue. Yes, here another lesson. I didn't want to waste all the time we had. Just it's half an hour in about I have, I don't have, and I didn't have. It's gonna be too much. I'm gonna be repeating myself. So that's why I tend to if to put two lessons if the lesson is a bit more or less short. So here about the present continuous. Good. So let's focus now about the present continuous. The present continuous is formed by adding the following prefixes to the verb stem. A and the conjugation, of course, and you know now the conjugations mostly of all the things that we learned so far, pronouns and so on. A conjugated and saji. Let's take an example of saji, which means to speak or to talk. So if you want to say I am speaking, you say a saji. Okay, the verbs, as you remember from the previous lessons, in order to make the present, the past continuous, all this stuff, it is always a prefix before the verb. It's always like that in Coptic, which makes it very easy. And that's just a form, stampa, before it, and you conjugate any verb that you want to conjugate it. So easy. So a saji, it means I am speaking. Okay, see how easy is it? Very easy, the Coptic language. Yes. Okay. As let me remind you, I know that you know, most of you, if not all now, the iota I refers to me. K, you, masculine. A, you, feminine. F, he. S, she. N, we. Then, you, plural. The epsilon, they. Anyhow, let's see this example. So, a saji, I'm speaking. Ek, and you have to make it a bit longer, because if you say ek saji, if you remember the present tense, it's ek. You have just put a jenka before the k. So we tend to make it to focus on the first letter, okay, to make an accent. So ek saji. This should differentiate between ek saji, you talk right now, and ek saji, you are talking or speaking. You got it? Good. So ere saji, you, feminine, are speaking or talking. As I said before, in English, speak and talk, it's the same. They don't have, there's no word for speak and no another word for talk. Both are denotes one thing. So F, not F, or as I did this mistake, F saji, because F saji alone means present tense. Okay, he speaks. But if saji, he is speaking. Okay, so the past continues. Es saji, the same, because if you say es saji alone, it means she speaks, she talks, present. But es saji, she is speaking. Okay, en saji, we are speaking. Ereden saji, you, plural, are speaking. Eu saji, they are speaking. So let's say them again one more time. So a saji, I am speaking. This is the present continuous. Ek saji, not ek. Ek saji, you are speaking. Ere saji, you, feminine, are speaking. If, not if. If saji, he is speaking. E saji, she is speaking. Okay. En saji, we are speaking. Ereden saji, you, plural, are speaking. Eu saji, they are speaking. Got it? Simply speaking, the only thing which is a little bit needs some attention and focus in the spoken language, as I said in the example here, ek saji, you speak, you talk. Ek saji, you are talking. Okay, speaking. If saji, he talks, he's speaking. He speaks, not continuous. But listen to the difference, okay, between if saji and if saji. There is a difference, okay? If saji, as an accent on the first syllable, okay? The same thing here. Es saji, she speaks, she talks. But es saji, she is speaking. I know there's a minute, a very small difference, but it should be accented. Just an accent. Put an accent. Es saji. Es saji. Not es saji. Difference, okay? It differs. Great. Shall I say them again, or again one more time very fast? Okay. A saji, I'm speaking. Ek saji, you, masculine, are speaking. Ere saji, you, feminine, are speaking. If saji, he is speaking. Es saji, she is speaking. En saji, we're speaking. Ereden saji, you are speaking, plural. Eu saji, they are speaking. Okay, thank you. So let's see what's next. What's next? What's next? Oh, okay. This is a time for the Coptic manuscript, but this time is a bit different from the previous times. You know why? Because, as I think many, if not most or all of you know, that the spoken language in this church, the pronunciation used in this church nowadays is different from what we are teaching. Yeah? Because as I said, and as we said before, and I will re-say it again, that this is an important topic, subject, by the way, very important, that nowadays in the church we are talking in, we are pronouncing, let's make things correct, we are pronouncing the Coptic language according to the pronunciation of the Greek letters. Okay, I will just give you one example which is very important. Like the letter C, A, B, C in English. The letter C is used in English, French, Italian, okay, all the European language, but it has different sounds. C in English, but in Italian is ch. A, B, C, D, E. E in English, in French is E, the same letter, the same exactly, but E. In Italian is A. In English is E. You see? The letter U is the same shape, it's the same letter. U, U in Italian and U en français in French. You see? So anyway, as I said, we are pronouncing the Coptic language nowadays in the church according to the pronunciation of the Greek alphabet, which is different from the original pronunciation. And that's very interesting. And Coptic manuscripts in the Middle Ages, I think, dates around maybe 900 years ago or something like that, in the 10th century, maybe. I'll check about the date and later, but it is around that date. But that time, it is a manuscript from a monastery in Egypt, and a monk is talking or writing to another monk and telling him something, some advices and so on. In which language? This is very important. Which language? In Arabic. Okay, but he is writing in Coptic script. You know why? Because by that time we're talking about maybe around 1900 or 1000 years ago. That's around this age. At that time, Copts or Egyptians were still talking in Coptic, and it was the Arabic was a foreign language and still not easy for them. They knew it, they talk it in Arabic, but their hand is more familiar with the Coptic alphabet and script. So that's why he was talking in Arabic, but with a Coptic letters. And you'll see, I know that many of you, but I know that some of you, they know, you know Arabic well, but I will just say it to understand how. So he's telling him, by the way, the English translation is present here. Anything, do not able it up and tell a lie, but do, this is a bit difficult English anyway. So let's focus on the subject. In Arabic, excuse me, just say one sentence in Arabic. شيئا من هذه الأمور فلا تكتم. تكتم, you know, you hear that تكتم is this تكتم, letter T. So you see here in the pointer, فلا, this is LA, فلا تكتم, this is the theta. Theta is not pronounced as th. This was pronounced in the Greek language, yes, th, like English. But this in Coptic is t, like in French you have the th, like the word orthodox, but they do not in France. They spell it orthodox, like English. They spell it ortho, th, but t, because they don't have this th in their language. So فلا تكتم ذلك. And ولكن here in Arabic تكتب ولكن is just a minute. ولا sorry ولا تكذب. Okay, so this is a T. ولا ت. This is here تكذب. تكذب, it means to say, to tell lies. A final example, I know because many of you don't speak talking Arabic. استغفر, it means to forgive, to forgive. استغفر, you see this theta represents the T. So this is a very good proof about the authentic Coptic pronunciation we are teaching. Okay? And if you have any questions about that, you can send to me on the group of the Coptic language and I can answer. Okay, hope it's clear. I know that you don't have to know Arabic. I know that I don't have to talk in Arabic in this lesson because this is for the English speakers, but this is one or two sentences just to hear this. The T is always written as theta. Great. Okay, and let's see what's next. Also, again, because this lesson, I want to focus on that because there are many arguments and controversies about the pronunciation and so on. So here, this is taken from the book of Champollion, as usual, the French Egyptologist who deciphered the Egyptian hieroglyphs, they locked all these things. So he wrote the pronunciation you see here. So alpha, Vita, he wrote it as Vida. Okay, it's okay. This is the page from Champollion, and I enlarge it here to make it clearer. You see, not delta, dalda, and here D-A-L-D-A, dalda. It means that the letter Dao or Tau was mostly pronounced as a D. Okay, and here Zeta. This is in Greek, but you see how the Copt they pronounce it Zida with the D. Okay, Hida or Ita, the Copts pronounce. This is from the book of Champollion himself, by the way, and it's present on the internet. You can buy it. Everything is, we say it's documented. Hida, not Ita. And theta, this is th, but as I say again, because Champollion is French and I do speak French fluently, so I know very well all the words from Greek origin with the th, they are pronounced th, I mean they are written as th in French, but they are pronounced as t. So this is tida. You see, not tita. There's a t here. Tida. Okay. Yo lauda, which is L, okay. Sorry, Yoda, which is I, Yoda. Yauda, not Yota with the T. Okay, here the letter T, this the Coptic, and that's here how he heard it from the Coptic priest. Dao, as it's here, this is the figure, and this is pronunciation. Okay, as he heard it from the Coptic priest Yohanna Ashaftishi, who taught him Coptic. And I think, and the last one is D, it's here D, okay? And I think it's good for today. Hope you enjoyed that lesson and see you next time. Ujai, Kheneb Choice, be safe in the Lord. Bye to all.